everybody. It's another episode of MeMe Knowledge. I'm friend of the people, Robert Kelly. And I'm here with Prince Gregory Hayes.
Y'all know who it is. What's good? How's everybody doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing well. We got an entertaining show. We got there's a lot going on right now in the world of politics. So we're gonna try to get to it. It's some stuff. We're gonna try to connect some dots for y'all so we can see how we're being played and manipulated by the same people. And it's gonna hurt. I'll be honest with you. I think it's gonna hurt because a lot of these people are people that I personally like.
Yeah.
The very least, I believed in them to some extent. But I should have known something was up because I actually got into it with one of them. But anyway.
Okay. But before we get started, hit the like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to make sure that you're getting everything that the
Soapbox Heroes channel provides.
Right. Soapbox Heroes. Thank you. That's why he's here. To remind me of where
D is here, you guys, by the way. D is back. He's we popping again.
He was locked in one of the detention centers there looking for a immigrant, but he's back.
Facebook,
and he's getting paid. Yes, he's back on a visa and he's getting paid shit wages.
Oh no, because we're going.
Okay, so first things first. Just reaffirming some things that we already knew. You know, Tulsi Gabbard is in the news because she has been under attack from TYT's Emma Biglin. And you would say, well, why would Emma Biglin attack Tulsi Gabbard when Tulsi Gabbard's progressive, right?
Mm-hmm.
And TYT is the home of the progressives.
So they say.
So we had to do a little bit, but we didn't have to dig far because there was a great piece done for you guys that we're going to share with you guys. And what's the guy's name? Robbie. His name is. Hold on, I'll get his name here.
Yeah.
Pull up the article here. His name's Robbie Yeager.
Man knows his stuff.
Yes, Robbie Yeager came out and wrote an article for Medium. Okay, it's called "Tulsi Gabbard Has Enemies in High Places." So he basically is making some revelations here. We're going to just go into the article here. We're going to break down some of the things, and then we're going to let you know what we think. If you give it down, hit the like.
You should give it down because it's more the same old man. It's more the same.
Right.
More the same, bro.
Right.
Rich getting rich, doing whatever the rich want to do whenever they want to do it.
So the article is called "Tulsi Gabbard Has Enemies in High Places: How Doing the Right Thing Could Be Costing Her Everything." So first of all, I want to say doing the right thing. Tulsi Gabbard is a person that I you can see she has a high level of political integrity and political courage. She doesn't give a damn what anyone thinks about her views. She stands up for what she believes in. She doesn't check in with the elite. She just stands for what she believes is right. You don't always agree with her. I don't agree with her on everything. I do agree with her on a lot of things, but either way, she's standing up. Even when we don't agree, I don't agree with Tulsi Gabbard. I still believe that she
genuinely feels like
genuinely feels that way, and that she actually does. I believe she actually cares about the direction of the country. I believe she actually cares about the people.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, that is one of the reasons that she, in glorious debate fashion, called out Kamala Harris during the second debate on her record. Now, we always knew that those chickens were going to come home.
Man.
But we didn't. But with Tulsi's, just her smooth delivery, her calm demeanor, and her just on point, way of delivering it, I think it had even more impact than it would have in real life. It almost made it seem like can you actually believe this is real life, really happening? It's almost like you could actually see the punches being thrown in word form. Since that time, immediate backlash from the powers that be, starting with CNN right after the debate, right? And now we have TYT, The View, and Jamel Hill, Charlamagne the God, other Kamala supporters. So you're like, how come no one's asking Kamala to explain her record, but everyone wants to attack Tulsi because of what she said?
If y'all think that's a lie, y'all can go and check out Google searches immediately after the debate. There was not a lot looking for Kamala. It was a lot looking for Assad. And everybody knows, that's the millstone that hangs around Tulsi's neck. But the smear campaign being what the smear campaign is, crosshairs is on the person that's talking against the establishment. So that's why you're hearing about what you're hearing about instead of hearing about what you should be hearing about, which is she really did serve an auditory bitch slap to somebody who does have a very, very spotty track record.
To say the least.
Right. And I don't understand why no one's asking Kamala, hey, did that actually happen?
That seems like the simplest. Yeah, that would seem like the simplest question to ask.
Give her a chance to explain herself. Look, we want to just know. I know, Kamala. I know you're a person of great integrity. Did this actually happen? What happened? What do you want? What do you want to say to that? What's your person? But actually, when they brought it up after CNN debates, only thing Kamala Harris did instead of answering the question was she began to attack Tulsi. Said that of course
she wasn't going to be in the next debate. That was her line of attack.
Right? And also called her an Assad apologist. Also Twitter from Kamala Harris's team at the time tweeted right? A tweet, right? Says, you're an Assad apologist. Like they were telling Kamala what to make sure she threw that out there. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, so basically they've been calling a 16-year veteran a major in the Army National Guard. You know what I mean? Who is actually probably just, right now.
She's about to get
serving.
Yeah, she's about to go on active duty again. She's about to do, she's leaving soon.
Well, no, she's currently in training.
Oh, right now. Okay, yeah, I knew it was something.
It's the 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year.
Yeah.
She's doing her 2 weeks a year right now.
Yeah.
And you're calling this combat veteran,
yeah,
a Putin puppet, an Assad apologist, and you're basically a Manchurian candidate at this point, right? But that's okay. That's cool. That's what's up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what's cool. That's what's up. It's terrible. And they've been asking her about Assad for the last 3 years, 3 fucking years, when she is on the, the committee, right? What's the committee?
The Foreign
Affairs Committee.
Yeah, Foreign Affairs Committee.
Yeah. And Homeland Security. Homeland Security.
Something like that,
like that.
I don't remember. I'm never familiar with those committee names.
Right, but she's on those. The Armed Forces Committee.
Oh, okay.
So she's responsible for who goes to war and why they go to war. She's a congressperson. She's a check on the executive branch. And when she goes to find out facts surrounding a solution that a situation that was convoluted and complicated, like the civil war in Syria is, all of a sudden you're getting on her for basically doing what her job is. I wish all the Congress people would have gone to Syria.
Absolutely.
But
they couldn't have handled that.
Well, you know who else went to Syria? Nancy Pelosi. No one said anything when Nancy Pelosi went to Syria.
Nah, because she was probably talking to the rebels. She probably went there to go meet with the insurgent fucking rebels over there.
And you know who else was there? Vice. Vice went, and they had some lady sniffing a backpack that was supposed to have deadly gas in it. I'm like, oh yes.
No, it wasn't Vice. That was CNN.
CNN?
Oh
my God.
Vice is smarter than that. They got real journalists. The real journalists is like they did send a real journalist to Syria though. I saw that, and they were there. They weren't sniffing backpacks stuff, but they were like walking around, and then they started asking people on the streets questions, and then they came and like the government sent some people in and swooped them up real quick. Yeah, it was crazy, but yeah. So we understand the situation that's in Syria, but we want to get to this. I'm going to read a little bit of this article so that we could know. We're going to go through the article with you guys right now. If you want to, you can post the first. We're going to start at the top of this article. We're not going to read it all, but I want you guys to see what we saw, right? So I want to set the table for you. So The morning of February 28, 2016, Tulsi Gabbard was in a pretty good spot. She was the rising star congresswoman for Hawaii, the darling of the Democratic Party, whose anti-regime change platform was breathing fresh life into the stagnating institution. She was their future. But the revelations revealed by WikiLeaks through troves of leaked internal emails, the Democratic National Committee was actively conspiring against Bernie Sanders in order to ensure Hillary Clinton won the nomination at that year's convention changed everything. That day, Tulsi Gabbard took a stand. With her head held high and a smile on her face, she resigned her position as vice chair of the DNC. And not only that, went against her party and publicly endorsed Sanders. The next day, she received this email. Now,
read that email.
This email is everything. So the email is it's in a chain. At the top, it says hammer drop because Tulsi wasn't supposed to see. She didn't see the hammer drop part. So this was day 4. Darnell Strom, who we'll mention later. Darnell Strom sent this to. Oh, he probably CC multiple. Like, yeah, he CC multiple.
He CC right everybody.
And he said, and it said, hammer drop. It says ham drop. He spelled hammer wrong, but yeah, whatever.
Correct, damn it.
Yeah. So he says, Representative Gabbard. Hold on, let me turn it sideways. Can't read it the short way. Okay. We were very disappointed to hear that you would resign your position with the DNC so you could endorse Bernie Sanders, a man who has never been a Democrat before. First and foremost, who gives a fuck? Who cares if he was a Democrat before or not? He was running as a Democrat in the Democratic Party, and if he had won, he would have been a Democrat. He wouldn't have won and then switched back as an independent. He would have been a Democrat. He would have been a Democratic president the whole time, helping the Democratic Party. And Bernie Sanders has been helping the Democratic Party his whole entire fucking career.
Right. He caucuses with the Democrats. He always talks with the Democrats, even though he's an independent, because he knows that, he knows you don't.
He knows the Democratic Party is a little bit more sensible than the Republican Party. Both are fucking retarded and both are evil, but one is less evil and he's trying to work with them. So when we met over dinner a couple years ago, I was so impressed by your intellect, your passion, and commitment to getting things done on behalf of the American people. For you to endorse a man who has spent almost 40 years in public office with very few accomplishments doesn't fall in line with what we previously thought of you, which is a lie because they call Bernie Sanders the Amendment King for a reason because he gets tons of things done. But anyways, though, it's not here.
Because of things he co-sponsors, he changes them and makes them better.
This person who you guys who will kind of go into who he is later, he's even using talking points to Tulsi Gabbard, who knows the truth, but he can't even fucking help it because he invents talking points. So he says Hillary Clinton will be our party's nominee, and you standing on ceremony to support the sinking Bernie Sanders ship is disrespectful to Hillary Clinton. A woman who has spent the vast majority of her life in public service and working on behalf of women, families, and the underserved.
Really?
If that was the truth, then why did you guys need to conspire against Bernie Sanders? If she really was like that great of a candidate, then whatever. You have called both myself and Michael Kives before about helping your campaign raise money. We no longer trust your judgment, so will not be raising money for your campaign. Darnell Strong, Michael Keeps. So that email, when he sent it to Michael, he said, hammer drop down. Let's go into who Darnell Strong is, right? Is that his name?
Darnell Strong.
Okay. Now let's see this. Let's
Darnell Strong and Michael Cuddy, right?
Yeah, let me get to the part about who Darnell Strong is real quick. Darnell Strom is basically they are like CEOs or they run talent agencies, right? So and I don't know if you guys are familiar with talent agencies, but essentially all talent agencies do is they're like in movies, like that person that's like you need somebody to help you with your image, right? And then you hire somebody to come help you to dress a certain way or put a certain public face forward, you know what I'm saying? So people don't really know who you really are, get to see who you really are, whatever you want to do.
You ever watch Entourage? Yeah. Ari Gold.
Yeah.
That's that guy.
Exactly. So that's what they do, right? He basically is this company is they are, if you would call it, I guess, like the oil in the wheel, like in the cog of a democracy right now. Like they're a part of that, right? Like they link everything together, right? Because it's illegal to do what they do in politics, but they don't. They're outside of the jurisdiction of politics, right? Like they're a talent agency, which one would ask, why does a fucking politician need, like, I'm sorry. I'm sure tons of politicians have that. I just think that shit is so weird.
Well,
because they all want to be Hollywood. I mean, at some point you're going to have to get on the TV. At some point you're going to have to meet with, you're going to have to do a presser. You're going to have to do, like a campaign video. And you have to interact with people. Them talent agencies know the type of people to go out and look for. They know how to get you in front of, the thug that's not that thuggish. You know what I'm saying? Or they're going to have you in a place where the people that like you are going to respond to you and they'll look genuine more so than if to try to force you into the hood. You know what I mean?
Well, more so, it's because, do you remember when Bill Clinton was running for president?
Yep.
Yeah. They have a thing
I don't remember, but I know
it was called Rock the Vote.
Mm-hmm.
And Rock the Vote is a concert series that they had where they would have famous people and famous, trying to get people to vote.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially it was to vote for Clinton, to vote for
sure,
Democrats, liberal, right?
Yeah.
And they would have like different people parading different celebrities up, like, things of that nature.
Vote or die.
Now that, right?
Type
Now
shit,
those type of things became something that was a little like weird.
It was a gray area. It was like manipulative.
But so the question became, how do we get these celebrities to speak on our behalf without having them directly attached to our campaign? So if they do some weird celebrity stuff, they don't drag everything down with it.
Right.
Or so it doesn't look like we're pandering to certain groups of population by having these people speak on our behalf. And what you do is you hire a talent agency that contains sports stars, contains movie stars, contains TV personalities, people that are in front of the camera, and then that share talking points. And they're going on and saying these same talking points to each other, and they're all like conspiring these talking points, right? And without being directly connected.
Like, you want to know, like crazy. Jimmy Fallon was on that list of people that we were talking about the list.
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon's on that.
We'll get to the list. There. So that is essentially what CAA is, right? Or I'm sorry, the group that they run or ran together was called CAA. CAA presents itself as a nexus of talent, content, brands, technology, sports, and live events, creating limitless opportunities for the storytellers, trendsetters, icons, and thought leaders who shape popular culture. What does that mean? CAA represents thousands of clients across the entire mass media spectrum, from A-list movie stars and news anchors to sports heroes and big tech CEOs. By putting so many influential and socially exalted figures under one umbrella, it provides a pathway for ideas and inorganically seep into the cultural lexicon. Ideas that can be instantly promoted by your favorite politician and your favorite NBA player simultaneously without the typical observer knowing they got that idea from the same person. So basically, like I said before, these people create talking points. Like, it's like just boiling it down. So they create a talking point because some entity or some group or whatever has some agenda, and then they go, okay, how can we spin this to the public to get the public to buy into this, right? And then they give it to a politician a certain way. They say, this is how you're going to frame it, and then we're going to frame it like this, and we're going to say it like this and this and that. And that's why when we're going to talk about this later too, but that's why when something like what's happening with Jay-Z comes out and people oppose it or people question it, then you just hear these like everybody say the same shit. It's like four stories that, you know what I mean? Like four responses.
And there are certain key phrases that they all decided that they're going to use.
Yeah.
It's not only that, if you think about it like this, like for instance, there are groups of people that are influencers to certain other groups of people. There are people that are, for instance, Some people watch CNN, so they'll listen to a pundit or they'll listen to an anchor on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't watch CNN, but they watch ESPN. So then you have someone on ESPN saying the same thing. They're reaching a different group of people, or they're actually reinforcing something. If someone watches both, it's actually reinforcing that idea.
Yeah.
There's a book that's a very interesting book. It's called How Beliefs Are Spread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I read this book, and it basically talks about how when you gain a belief, sometimes you can get a belief from yourself, your own experience,
yeah.
or you get a belief from someone telling you and you adopt it.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you get that belief, you may either reiterate it or you're looking where there's social feedback on that belief.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so depending on the social feedback on that belief and the social weight that each individual with the feedback gives you, it either changes that belief or it reaffirms that belief. So, hearing something from one person that you trust might mean a lot to you.
Mm-hmm.
But then hearing opposing opinions from maybe 3 or 4 people that you maybe don't trust as much, but you're hearing opposing opinions, can change your belief. Or hearing that same opinion from place after place after place,
mm-hmm.
hearing that same talking point over and over and over again, it reaffirms it. I don't know if you guys understand this, but most humans don't really make decisions for yourself.
No.
You don't decide. You don't really decide what you're going to buy, what you're going to wear, you don't make those decisions by yourself. You can make them, you make them ultimately, it's your job to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But you don't make those decisions by yourself.
Oh, no.
Those decisions are made along with input, social input.
Yes.
So if you affect, or you're a company that affects the social input,
mm-hmm.
or contributes the most to someone's social input, you have the ability to control that person's decisions,
yes.
or at least predict their decisions. And when you can do that, that's lucrative.
Absolutely. And so let's keep going, because this is very, I like this. This is interesting. So all that happened. So Tulsi Gabbard got an email from these people who basically shut her down. We're like, hey, we're gonna. They basically blackballing her at this point. That's what
right.
they told her. They blackballed, right? And thank goodness Tulsi Gabbard is who she is, and she don't give a fuck. So she took that and was like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she knew that was coming too, because she's in the politics. She was in the inner circle. She knew how they got down. So all of these things happen. Tulsi Gabbard is being blackballed, and now I want to get to the crux of the story right now, which is how, this isn't, we are using this as an example, but it doesn't stop with Tulsi. We really just want you guys to understand. This is just dope how this writer found all this information out and he put it there really accessible for us to see it, right? But
props to Robbie Yeager.
Yes, for sure, without a doubt. This is awesome that he did this. But we don't know, like I want to point out how she, like you were saying before, so Tulsi, I don't even like calling it attack, because I don't feel like she attacked Kamala Harris. I feel like it was a debate.
She kept it 100.
It was a debate. Like, debates happen.
She
Like,
challenged her.
She gave her
challenged her. She pressed her.
Right. There, I was gonna say, yeah. She gave her the hard-hitting questions that need answers.
She pressed her. Right. Attack to me feels like something negative. It feels like something that should like I don't ever want to be attacked. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never warranted to be attacked, I feel like. But she did her job. She's up there running for president in a debate, so
right.
that she got.
She's polling at maybe 1%. And she may not make the third debate because of that.
Yeah, well.
No, you have to have 2%.
I know.
Debates. Yeah. It's getting really down to the deadline in the month here. I hope she does.
Yeah.
She does have the 130 individuals.
Yeah. People love her. People giving her the money for sure.
Right. But she is doing us a service just by being there, because not only is she bringing out the issue of anti-interventionalism, which represents a great deal of the left. They're anti-interventionalists, right? They need to be represented up there from their speech.
The left, yes.
The left.
Yeah.
People,
progressives.
Voters.
Yeah, voters. Yes.
Voters. I'm not talking about these.
That's what I was thinking. I was trying to think. I was like, who the fuck? I was like, none of the people in the Congress and none of them motherfuckers. These are bloodthirsty people. You know what I mean? Because they Elizabeth Warren is a part of those people, by the way, just so you guys know that.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
Exactly. So and also she's doing, because the whole thing is a weeding out process so that the best candidate can be chosen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this would be as big a deal as far as Kamala's record, because I don't think Biden would have went there.
No.
As it wore on, I don't think Bernie would have went there.
No.
I just don't think that they had that in their mind. Like, let me go attack her on a record.
No.
But
they're not attacking people anyway right now. But who knows what would happen later on?
But I think that Tulsi, wanted to separate herself from someone like Kamala Harris, someone that she might share a lot of voters.
I'm gonna tell you what I think it was. I think it was personal. I think, we're going to get into why I think it was personal right now. Okay, so a person that we're gonna, if you can you bring up the list? Can you show people the list right now? I want to show everybody this list real quick. So these people, these are some of the people that are connected to CAA and Darnell Strom and Michael Cox or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go down to this list, right? Anderson Cooper, Alyssa Milano, Ana Navarro, the big lady that's on the View, Chris Cuomo, Charlemagne. I don't know why they didn't highlight Charlemagne. Charlemagne's for Black people. Charlemagne's up there. Right. Charlemagne, very powerful show. Very powerful show. Charlemagne the God, Donna Brazile, Jamil. Once again, Jamil Hill's not highlighted. This is white liberal shit, I guess. So they not. These are the people that stood out to me the most on this list was Charlemagne the God and Jamil Hill,
right? Because
they are in the Black community. They are sort of gatekeepers at this point. As far as journalism is concerned, people consider Charlemagne a journalist for whatever reason. He's not a journalist at all
because he's written a couple of books.
He's an entertainer.
Right. That's because he's connected to.
And shout out to Charlemagne on those books. I think those are much needed books on anxiety. But,
yes.
You know what I mean? But fuck you and have a nice day when it comes down to
pushing this bullshit ass agenda.
And to get behind Kamala Harris when you tend to be tough on these candidates when they come in.
I love to put the list on YouTube. I don't know.
You know she fucking lied on your show, Charlemagne. You know she fucking lied on your show. You let her get away with that shit, and now you're endorsing her. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah. So Charlemagne. So Charlemagne's on this list. Gail King, Oprah's friend, is on this list as well. Mm-hmm. Jamel Hill, who used to of ESPN fame, now she has her own podcast, and she had Kamala Harris on her podcast, and she loves Kamala Harris. Here's my story. I want to let people know. So about was the first debates? It was the first debates when So when Kamala Harris got into it with Joe Biden and did the I was that little girl bullshit ass speech that she did. I saw Jamil Hill tweet something, and basically she was like something to the effect of like this is why Trump should be afraid of Kamala Harris. And I have the tweet to prove what I said to her, so everybody, I can show it to you guys
because
later
she was that girl.
She was that girl. And my response to that was, I said that Donald Trump would destroy Kamala Harris in the debate because Kamala Harris is a hypocrite, and her record will prove that she's a hypocrite. That was literally what I said. Lo and behold, I got attacked. By the way, I almost went viral to a certain extent. Like I literally had thousands of people commenting on me and like coming at me like for like 5 days, right?
There's Gregory Hayes blue check mark.
No, I don't want that shit. But yeah, so I got attacked from all sides, and because I talk my shit, so I was fending off a lot of people, and I was clowning them, and they sound. I don't care how many people think they're right. They can all laugh in their little circle and think they're right amongst each other, but in the real world, I know that they're wrong. So long story short, fast forward to the second debate, and we all saw what Tulsi did to Kamala. She destroyed her, and how did she destroy her? She pointed out that she was a fucking hypocrite. Right. That was literally what I said was going to happen. And whether Trump did it that eloquently, which he wouldn't have, he would have did it, but he would have done it. He would have said something that would have stuck. He would have stuck her for sure. He would have called her flip-flopping Kamala. He would have Chameleon Harris. He would have said something about her that stuck, and it would have hit. And it would have hit her really, really hard. And that was my point. But there's no talk. Like, I didn't know it at the time. I'm thinking that Jamil Hill likes Kamala Harris on some Black woman type shit, which Jamil Hill is really smart, and I would think that she would be able to know that all skin folk ain't kin folk. Yeah, Jamil Hill is really smart. She's really, I think she's super intelligent. So I think she's really savvy too.
She knows a lot about sports.
Nah, she knows a lot about politics. Jamil Hill's smart, man. Like
she's a smart cookie.
She's a super duper smart woman. So Jamil. So I'm thinking I was thinking that she just was riding with her for that reason. On that, you know what I'm saying? On that like sister to sister type shit, right? Like a lot of black people voted for Obama strictly because he was black. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm thinking it's on that. But Kamala Harris is a woman and she's black. I'm like, every black woman gonna ride with Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm thinking the majority, whatever, right? Come to find out, I believe that it's more the fact that Jamil Hill is under CAA, she's a CAA client. Charlamagne the God had Kamala Harris on her show, never pressed her, let her giggle, Tulsi pointed out, Kamala Harris laughed at the question about has she ever smoked marijuana. That happened on Charlamagne's show. Charlamagne didn't press her. I was like, but hey, wait a minute, you prosecuted.
I was listening to Biggie and Pop and Charlamagne.
And never pressed her.
Who is a music?
He's a hip hop. He on the fucking radio. Of course, from a fucking dude. Right. You know what? Fuck Charlamagne. Where was you at, DJ Envy? Because you a DJ, nigga. You should have been the first one. Like, hey, wait.
Cats want their paychecks. Don't rock. Don't make waves.
No, I know.
Wait a minute. She was gonna get paid anyway. He was gonna get paid anyway. She was on their show.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing.
You can't quite. I mean, they're part of.
That's their people's. Put it like this. That's not. Yeah, you know what it is.
Revolt TV is owned by some big conglomerate. I'm sure it's owned by like ABC, one of the 4 major groups or 5 major groups or whatever that owns all the television, all the media for the most part, right? So fast forward. Bottom line is, I'm sorry. We're not done with the list. So those are some of the names on that list, right? Jimmy Fallon's on that list. Joe Biden's on that list. Mark Cuban's on that list.
James Corden is on that list.
That was the name
that's big.
And Stephen Colbert, if you guys ever used to watch the Colbert Report, go back and watch the fucking Colbert Report. Not this Stephen Colbert. I'm talking about go back and watch the Colbert Report.
8 years ago.
The Colbert Report
used to be on some real talk.
Low key got me like really into politics. Right. Like literally that show.
I used to watch The Daily.
The Daily and that. But I didn't even like The Daily Show really because I don't like Jon Stewart's not that funny to me. Yeah. But he did a good show. I like everybody on Jon Stewart's show.
He's an actual like fucking progressive.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart, he's about that life. Yeah, Jon Stewart put Stephen Colbert on to that life.
Yeah, Jon Stewart.
And Stephen Colbert was like, all right, fuck it. I can run with this.
Yeah, Stephen Colbert was better than Jon Stewart.
He was.
I think he was funnier.
He was funnier than Jon Stewart. So seeing Stephen Colbert on here makes a lot of sense because Stephen Colbert is a straight and corporate hack sellout at this point.
Funnier than Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah is the worst. Anna Kasparian is on here. Anna Kasparian, if you guys don't know, there's a network called TYT, The Young Turks. The Young Turks is a progressive, quote unquote, a progressive news station. They're the biggest progressive news station, probably. Period.
Yeah.
And they're not even on TV. They're on YouTube.
They are the home progressive. Matter of fact, what made them is 2015, and Bernie's campaign is what made TYT. TYT had been around before then, but they blew up off of Bernie's campaign.
And I will say this, about TYT or about them being, just because you're on this list, it doesn't mean like everybody on this list is like balls to the wall, is going to listen to every single talking point or whatever CAA. That's not it, because Anna Kasparian, Yeah, that's what I was going to. So Anna Kasparian actually is a Bernie supporter, and CAA hates Bernie Sanders because Bernie Sanders. And so is Jay. Jay's a Bernie supporter too. So they don't. But they both attack. I'm sorry. Chet lets it go down, and Anna attacks Tulsi every chance she fucking gets.
Right.
So to me, like I said before, that shit with Tulsi is personal, and Tulsi hasn't said any of this publicly because I think she knows the optics of it.
You don't need a person. Like, I think she's too mature to like. This is a woman. This is a soldier. Okay, she's not a pundit. She's not a fucking talking head.
Yeah. She's
a soldier. She's a congresswoman. She's of a different. She's of a different fucking cloth.
Yes.
Than Anna Kasparian.
So all that which goes back to all of the talking points also well, I'm gonna show you some more names on here. So when we're watching these debates and you hear somebody like Bernie Sanders saying like, "Hey, that's a right-wing talking point." Like, why are you phrasing the question like that, Chuck Todd? Because Chuck Todd's on the fucking list. Because Dana Bash is on the fucking list. Because Don Lemon's on the fucking list.
Notice.
That's why.
Because Jake Tapper's on the fucking list.
Jake Tapper's on the list.
So everybody in the CNN debates, thank you.
Everybody
asking the questions in the CNN debates are on the list.
Wondering why Joe Biden ain't getting no pepper off the panel.
When Bernie goes on and does speeches today, and he talks about the Washington Post, and he talks shit about why, how they're basically framing all the questions in a right-wing economics. When it comes to economic questions, no matter what station you watch, they're going to be framed towards the right wing because the people that they work for expect that.
And also, I'm noticing something that's very weird. There's a lot of celebrities who don't otherwise seem like they would be involved in politics, like Alyssa Milano's on this list, right? And
her name popped up in the last couple of months.
Yeah, Alyssa Milano is like a fucking like pundit almost, and I'm like,
what the fuck?
She's
Yeah,
but we're talking about Alyssa Milano.
But
she's
Alyssa
like
Milano is the tip. No, but she's the tip of the spear for the Me Too movement. She is the Me Too.
I know, but that's what I'm. But when she's on, that's what I'm saying. That's not shocking that she. You know what I'm saying? Like they put.
I wonder if she was on the list before or after the Me Too movement started.
No, that's what, bro. They got her. They put her in front.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the CAA. When they walk into a room, this is what they're like. Like if you read a little,
Bill Maher's on this list too. By the way, if you guys watch Bill Maher,
read a little bit further into that, you'll understand. Because like we on this list, but you got to understand these are all clients. These are all people that are paid for. That are paying for these services. These people aren't paying.
No, it's not that kind of agency. You see what it is they get together and they decide. Like, because remember what the agency is for.
No, the CAA is created.
The agency is for a smoke screen so these guys don't appear connected, but they're all saying
right. But what I'm saying is, on paper, it's going to look like these guys are their clients. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yeah, the motivation we know goes the other way, but Alyssa Milano's not getting paid from CAA to work or to have them do the work for her. She's paying to be a member of the CAA, which again makes it even more dicey because now you can't say that they're really even getting their thoughts bought.
No, the CAA, I think that they decide, like they come and approach who they want and they get gigs.
Well, I mean,
they get these people in front of them.
I was gonna say the people,
but the people that want the information spread are the people that pay the.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but the benefit of it is you can't blame the CAA for it. You can't blame Darnell Strom.
He's a part of it, absolutely.
No. Here's what I'm saying. He's
not the one making the talk.
Right. Like, I'm the middleman. You want to buy some drugs. He want to sell some drugs. Mm-hmm. I'm the middleman. I know how to get y'all in the same room, but somebody got to pay me to do it. That's what they're doing. But now their actual job, what they can say is, well, we influence the DNC. That's where our influence is. We don't have any say between Alyssa Milano.
They can't say they influence the DNC.
That's where their sphere of influence and power comes in with the politicians.
That's positive deniability on their part.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Another name that strikes me is two names. Michael Moore and what's the other? Seth MacFarlane. Seth MacFarlane and Michael Moore. Seth MacFarlane, he's a great cartoonist. He's a good artist. He makes, he makes dope stuff. And if you watch any of it, he says some pretty
powerful.
He calls out a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you pay attention to Seth MacFarlane, he's a fucking Hillary. You know what I'm saying? Stumper, and like that. That's what he does. So there's a lot of names on here. And like I said, also a very interesting name is Simone Sanders, who used to be a part of Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders camp.
The black lady who used to run Bernie Sanders.
Who quit his camp, ironically, because she knew this shit was going down.
And now she got a job with Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Oddly, and everybody was wondering. I was like, how the fuck did she end up in Joe Biden's camp? Like that. I remember everybody was asking that. Oh, that's mine. No.
Simone Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
She's like one of the last names on that list.
But
when I read that, I was like, it's the moments. It's like, oh.
But let me ask you,
Whoopi Goldberg.
But it also makes sense with Alyssa Milano because you remember when Joe first started to run and the whole thing scandal about him sniffing the hair and stuff like that. She's the Me Too moment woman, and she's she downplayed it.
Calm down.
She downplayed it
and said
Joe Biden's not that kind of guy.
We gotta, move on. The more important thing is that we defeat Trump, like Joe Biden's the person to defeat Trump.
So let's use that because that's a fucking great point. Let's use that and kind of talk about also like what's happening with Jay-Z in the NFL. It's a similar. That's what's gonna. That's why these types of things are important. When people think like, because they always like, because people who don't think about shit like this on a daily. And I don't want to shit on nobody, and I don't really even blame anybody for not thinking about this shit, right? Because we working, right? We working class people. We got jobs. We got families. And if it ain't your thing, if your thing is to come home and get faded or to go to a club or to watch, you know what I'm saying, just watch some TV, cool. I'm not judging you. But that's what we do, and that's why we're here. And a line that I want to connect is Jay-Z's not on this list. It's not about this list because this is just one company. There's other companies like CAA. You know what I'm saying? There's other.
Jay-Z runs his own. You know what I mean?
I'm sure. Yeah, he's probably the head of. You know what I'm saying?
The other one is UTA because after he wrote this email, he moved to.
UTA recruited him to come over there to do that.
No. He started off, and there's a whole other group too. But okay, so my point is this though. So the reason why this is important is because the same way when something weird happens, like what happened with Joe Biden sniffing women's hair and doing a lot of inappropriate shit, and then you have a woman that she assumed this position somehow. She rose to the top of this movement, right? She co-opted it, right? And now she's the face of it. So she basically gets to say she gets to send her attack dogs wherever she sees fit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She can downplay something too and be like, that's not that bad. And that's what she did with Joe Biden. So now everybody, it's not that bad. But imagine if the Me Too movement would attack Joe Biden like they attacked a ton of other men. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Somebody. Okay, cool. It would have looked different right now, right? Okay, cool. Same way with Jay-Z. He wouldn't be
definitely not
the same way with Jay-Z, assuming the position with the NFL. And what was one of the first things he said today about when they asked him about it? We were just talking about it.
It's time to stop kneeling.
It's time to stop kneeling.
Now it's actionable items.
Kneeling is bad. I don't like kneeling. I'm ahead of the movement that I didn't start. I'm the face of this movement now. Right. And I did not start, and I've never really stood for anything my whole fucking life. Right. But now I'm the face of this movement that many of people got behind, that a lot of black people stopped watching football over, a lot of white people got upset over, all of these things. I'm the face of it now. I'm putting it to bed. Kneeling is dead.
I'm trying to bring everybody together.
I'm trying to bring quote unquote.
Like what I love about that interview.
It's always been super corporate, and this is basically, I look at this.
It's another corporate move.
Well, I look at this as more than that. I look at this as anti-worker.
It's for sure is anti-worker.
Well, has he ever worked? I mean, he's always been a boss.
No, I'm saying Colin Kaepernick.
I'm just saying from the image, the personal mainstream image that Jay-Z has put out his whole career is what? He's a dope dealer. Well, now he ain't a dope dealer. Now I'm a businessman.
We're all at the record company. I'm a rapper and you're a rapper, but I'm Jay-Z. I'm with the bosses.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying.
Jay-Z is like the equivalent. He's the equivalent of like CP3. Like niggas in the NBA don't like CP3.
No,
right. Because they don't trust him because they felt like he will sell them out to get a leg up with the
NBA.
NBA, right? Okay, cool. But why? So why do we? But
because he do the work. He's the Players Association
president.
No. He got that job was changed.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's been doing this.
No, they've been saying that about Chris Paul, but now we're getting two steps through what you're saying, which this is a direct correlation to that same narrative. You throw somebody out in front of it that has let's not call it a sway, but an influence over the situation in a way where it can either minimalize it. It's not going to completely go away, but it's minimalized. They don't
want it to go away.
Right. It's minimalized.
Alyssa Milano doesn't, the powers that be don't want the Me Too movement to go away. They want to be able to use it as they see fit. They want to use it as a tool.
They want to weaponize it.
They want to weaponize
it. Yeah, there you go.
The kneeling, the Kaepernick shit, they want to weaponize that
the
shit.
Me Too movement, I think they brought light to some good shit, like Harvey Weinstein.
All of them, almost everybody who they attacked deserved it for sure, except with the exception of fucking Indian dude.
But it's like this. Now I think that they've cleared a lot of the weeds and a lot of the shit is getting slim pickings. But it's something that's now in their pocket,
it's still there. It's there, yeah.
And they can pick it up and they can use it whenever they want. I think that sometimes the Me Too movement, not directly leadership wise, but I believe that the fallout from the Me Too movement is sometimes you see misdirected, weaponizing of,
it's been co-opted like every other fucking movement in America that has meant anything ends up being co-opted. It's co-opted right now. But the point being is that Tulsi Gabbard, is under attack by essentially a conglomerate.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, and the scariest part about it is we don't really, we know, I think we know who is really attacking her. We know who is sicking the dogs on her. Because the truth of the matter is that none of these people on this list that we just named, none of them are bosses. None of them have fucking.
They all eat scraps at the table.
They all just want a seat at the table. They're all just vying for a seat at the table. All of them.
And we've actually seen everybody actually play their part in this too.
Yes.
We've seen Anderson Cooper go at her. You know what I mean? We've seen Anna Navarro go at Tulsi.
Yeah. Jake
Tapper for sure. Chris Cuomo.
Only person I haven't seen is Don Lemon. I haven't seen him go after her. I'm sure I don't watch any fucking Van Jones. Van Jones is on this list.
I think Van Jones is. I think Tyrone's going to have Van Jones on the show. You could tell me that. So, pretty soon. So we'll have an opportunity to talk to that.
That'd be cool.
Hard-hitting.
I'm gonna ask him about this.
Hard-hitting questions to ask. So this DNC kerfuffle. I know you can't tell us everything, but can you give me something?
I'm not gonna say you can't tell us anything.
Bette Midler. Once again, Bette Midler is a pseudo woke-ish, going hard at Trump on Twitter all the time. Like, if you just read the list, you can see it's weird. I'm like, oh, okay, that's super duper weird.
Because a lot of these people are leftists, but they're not progressives. And they want to deflect. It's like it's anybody but Bernie.
Well, it's also this too, because you got to look at it like this. This group of people.
I don't think that Alyssa Milano really cared for it to be against Tulsi. Like, I don't think she cared.
Right? No, I don't think it's that. Look, that group of people. One of the things that we got to look at too is, scroll a little bit further down in that article, Prince, and you'll see it's a lot about money too. Because these dudes dropped about $500,000 in money to different motherfucking campaigns and different PACs. Like, these guys theoretically have more, not even so much just the influence that they can wield, but it's that finger on the tap. You know what I'm saying? They can really put that finger on the hose and cut off that flow. Right. And that's kind of, if you're going to disqualify somebody or try to rattle them out, you can't beat her up going at her the hard way, like on TV or on camera. Even though that whole list, I don't think there's anybody that's going to back Tulsi into a corner that she can't fight out of. Mm-hmm. But if you financially cripple her, which is the worst part about that fucking email that they sent her, was that
they tried to.
We're going to take that money out of her pocket.
You dropped out. I did. Tulsi is strong, and that's what I'm saying. That's the thing about this that for me personally, this isn't even about Tulsi to me. Mm-hmm. It's so much. It's just showing you how the corporate media is working against us.
Yes,
it's working against us. All of these entities that have all of this power and all this influence: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iPhone, Snapchat, fucking Snap, all that shit, man. MSNBC, they're all connected. The fucking music. The music you listen to, all your favorite fucking rappers, your favorite movie stars, your favorite TV stars, they're all a part of this shit.
But you know what the fun shit about it is? Honestly, I believe that a lot of them believe that they are doing something that's making the right choice.
Dude, they're rich.
When they, it's not like they're saying, okay, we're going to guide this person, we're going to guide them towards Biden, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like all the evil whole.
No.
It's because they really believe that Biden is the best.
No, they like no. That's what I'm saying.
They really believe, and that's what's fucked up.
Because they live in a bubble, bro. It's not crazy to think that they're rich and they live in a freaking bubble.
Right.
So if somebody starts talking about, oh, we need to you rich people, you need to start getting taxed on your $10th million. We're gonna tax you 1 cent. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to hear that. I got to pay my fair shit. I don't want to hear that shit. Right. And those are just these people on this list.
Right.
These types of people who I already said, they aren't the boss. The people that own Halliburton are like, hell no, I ain't paying a tax. What? End of war? Are you crazy? That's not going to happen.
$10 million, dog. $10 million? I made $10 million in the first quarter.
A snap. They make it all. There's nothing to them. So they don't want to pay no money.
My business makes $10 million a week.
They're not trying to pay that tax. They're not trying to. More importantly, they're not trying to have their workers. Once you give people basic needs, once we get healthcare for all, education, college, blah blah blah. Once we get those things, you think it's gonna stop there? People gonna be like, I'm good. It may quiet people down for 10 or 20 years, but I guarantee you, 30 years from now, people are gonna be like, okay, we want it all.
Well, it's also there's also another, I think, that is something that's more permanent and something that is more prevalent to them. That once they build their wealth that's a generational wealth thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when they start to realize that your little entitled, snot-nosed little brat will not have any advantage over my brat.
Yes.
Now that's poor now, and he will not have the advantages that allow someone like Donald Trump to run for president, even though he's one of the most mediocre people you're going to ever meet. Nothing special about him. He was born into power and privilege, and he capitalized on that to run for president. We already had a leg up, but when there's nothing that separates you, like you get a good education. Oh, but this poor kid in Compton gets a good education.
Now it's just on your merit.
Now it's just on your merit. Yeah, it's not.
And that scares rich people too, because if I was rich, I mean, if you peep this about wealthy people, how often is it's usually like this. There's there's somebody in the family that got wealthy that pulled themselves up by their
bootstraps. And they were exceptional.
And they were the exceptional ones. And then the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth.
There's a lot of regular people.
It's just a lot of regular people.
But they're put in a position because of their wealth and influence where they're automatically kind of propped up.
Yeah, because they got money. And that's why they get to, like you were saying before, that's why they get to do shit like run for president, just based solely on the fact that he has a lot of fucking money, which I just saw an article that is like, should Jay-Z run for president? I was like, why the fuck should Jay-Z run for president? Because he's rich?
And exactly. But then at the same time, there are a lot of exceptional people in poor situations that never get out of that situation because even though they're exceptional, they're at risk for different things that rich people never have to worry about.
Health risk,
or just dying early. There's probably some exceptional kids that hit by straight bullets in the hood.
I'm gonna give you an example of an exceptional kid. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I think we both are exceptional people, to be honest with you. I think what happened with me personally, I can speak on my situation, was I grew up really poor. I didn't have no daddy in my home. I didn't have no fucking support. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't reach my full potential. Does that mean that I ended up being a loser? No. But who the fuck knows? That's what I'm saying. And that was me. Like I overcame I just got out of this shit and just like, cool, I'm out. Now I'm cool. I'm healthy. I'm happy. Yada, yada, yada. Like that was an accomplishment. But imagine if you had your mom and dad in the house and you had a support system.
And you were wrapping Gucci and gold in the main.
So according to standards, according to Joe Biden's standards, you almost were as a white kid.
I was almost good. I could have been. Yeah. I could have been as good as a white kid.
You could have been just as good as the white kids.
I could have been just as good as the white, even though I went to school with nothing but white kids when I was younger, which was funny. And I was smashing them white kids. They were not smarter than me. And then when we went to go play basketball, I was better than them. I was faster than them. I was stronger than them. And then we would go to the room, and I was faster than them doing math, and I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I was more exceptional.
And they were really cool with you until they went home one day and watched American History X.
All I have to do is put his face on the curb.
Nah, they was cool with me until I started wearing shirts that said "Black is superior." shit like that.
You know which one got him mad? The one that really got him mad is the black thing. You just don't understand. Oh, that T-shirt had him heated.
They was hot when I was wearing like cross colors. They didn't say nothing with cross colors though. They couldn't say anything. But when I made a shirt, I had a black shirt. I was in the fourth or fifth grade, and I made a shirt. It was fourth grade. I remember because I had a teacher in the fourth grade. So we had these shirts. We would have like art time, and you got to bring puffy paints and make stuff. You can make like paintings or whatever the fuck. And I made shirts. I was like, shirts. I was like really into making shirts at that time. Like, so I bought my puffy paints and I made a shirt. I had a black shirt, and I took green and red and wrote "Black is superior" on the shirt, just like straight across shirt. Boom, boom, boom. And I put it in the class. You had to leave it there and let it dry for 48, whatever. I left it there over the weekend or whatever. As soon as I came back, I was like, boom! I don't know how old are you in the front? 10 years old now. I don't know what the fuck. But at that time, I was listening to X-Clan and fucking Ice Cube and NWA, and that was the time. Like I was
African medallion. And all
bro, I had the African medallion with the sloss and got my African medallion leather, like with the leather strap.
On mamas.
Yeah, I had mine. Like it was spectacular. I did. I was on that shit. Anybody know? Niggas make fun of me to this day because they ask me what music I listen to. They like Prince still listen to A Tribe Called Quest, and he still listens to Soda. I love Soda. So my favorite group at the time was a group named Tennessee. Arrested Development was my favorite group. I had Arrested Development tape. I loved it. I literally wore it out. It broke. But anyway, so I wore that fucking shirt, and I was on the playground, and my principal, Mr. Mendoza, came up to me and pulled me to the side and was like, "Hey, what is up with that shirt?" Pretty much. And he was being really nice about like looking in hindsight. You said what? Yeah, he was trying to see it. He was just like, "What does it mean?" And I was just like, "I mean, black is superior." Yeah. And then he was like, "Well, some students are offended by that shirt." Now, me being 10 years old and being the type of person I was at that time, I said, "But it doesn't say black people are superior. It just says black is superior." I was like, I could be talking about the color. I could be talking about I just said black is superior. Why do people? I was like, why are people taking offense to that? It didn't say black people are superior.
It was probably him.
No, it wasn't him. He told me who the student was. Yeah, he told me. He said it was a girl. Her name was Megan. It might have been Megan Tinsley.
Shout out Megan.
Shout out Megan Tinsley. I believe it was Megan Tinsley. I just don't ask why. So her dad invented, or he was a part of the group or whatever that invented the fucking "Give Me a Break." He wrote the Twit song. They were rich. Like they were like really, really rich. Yeah. So and she felt some type of way and she ratted me out or whatever, and boom, and long story short. But that's that shit right there, that taught me a valuable lesson about being, around white, like me going to white schools and seeing that's the type of shit that I saw. But then I didn't have the support. When those unexceptional kids went home, they had their mamas and daddies there. They had somebody there to cook dinner for them, ask them how their day was, hold them accountable, make sure they did their homework. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. I mean, I ain't blaming my mama per se, but my mama, she was working. She was working 12 hours a day. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like the hood raised me, just straight up. I was influenced by the streets, and I did a lot of dumb shit. But who the hell knows where exceptional people could be if they had the support system? And that's what a lot of this shit comes down to. That's what the money provides. It lets people have support systems.
Right. There you go.
Right. Okay, so in other news, Huffington Post reports the Massachusetts judge, this is from April of 2019, a Massachusetts judge is charged with helping an undocumented immigrant escape ICE, baby.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, let's just address the fucking elephant in the room. ICE is not even literally it's not even a law. They're not even enforcing legal laws anymore at this point. Like some of the shit they just going and they doing to people it's not even constitutional.
All right.
But that's just the elephant in the room that I've been. There's
any of that shit constitutional?
Not a lot of it. Not a lot of
that shit that they're doing.
I remember the Constitution don't say ICE anywhere. So
that's what I'm saying. That's just like for anybody listening that thinks, you know what I'm saying, we be like fuck Trump, woo-dee wop. It's not that I'm just like fuck Trump. I'm fuck Trump and anything that you're doing that ain't on the board. If it was on the level, if everything was on the up and up, I'd be like, hey, well, fuck it, do what you got to do.
I like
this shit ain't just.
I like the customs part. I don't like
immigration
bringing whatever they think they can bring
No, of course not. Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, 90% of that shit is just about
They could probably
taxation
peel
on
back-
products too.
They could probably peel back on the immigration part and do a little bit more on the
Because
customs
we
part.
want to tax people more money for shit. But go ahead.
State District Judge Shelley Raymond Joseph is her name. And a court officer allegedly allowed a man to sneak out the courthouse door.
Woo!
Whoa.
Shout out to Shelly.
Shout
Power
out
to the people, girl.
Judge Shelley. They give her own show. If she gets fired from this, give her a show. Right? A Massachusetts judge was charged with obstruction of justice by federal prosecutors who allege she helped an undocumented alien escape from immigration and customs enforcement during a court hearing a year ago. This happened in April. The charges came out in April, but the incident happened a year prior to that, and she was just being charged a year later. So Massachusetts District Judge Shelley Raymond Joseph, that sounds like a serial killer name.
Yeah, when they give you 3 names, it's bad. It's never good when you get 3 names.
Shelley Joseph down the street makes nice cookies.
Yeah. Shelley Raymond Joseph?
Oh, you don't want to know about her.
Oh,
Shelley
Richmond.
Shelley Richmond.
Oh, Richmond Joseph. No, that's not her middle name. Richmond is probably because it's married.
It's a hyphen.
That's why. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. If her name was like Shelley.
That's a strong
Shelley
ass middle
Julie
name.
Joseph or whatever, I'll be like,
They call her SRJ. She's born.
yeah, that's
She went
right.
to prison.
She allowed the unnamed immigrant, so they didn't say that they don't have the immigrant's name on
I'm pretty sure they ran.
Right. To sneak out. No, they knew she was the judge.
No, I'm pretty sure the immigrant ran.
Unnamed immigrant to sneak out of Newton District Courthouse back door after she learned a plainclothes ICE agent was in the courthouse to arrest him, according to an indictment. So the guy came in, going to court.
Real G's moving silence like lasagna.
Read it.
Court officer Wesley McGregor, who was accused of leading the man to the back door, was also charged with obstruction of justice and with lying to a grand jury about whether he knew the ICE agent was there. Wow. Charges brought by U.S. attorney appointed by President Donald Trump show that Trump's administration continued to war with local state officials to resist federal immigration crackdown. So this is a
sanctioned state, sanctioned state or whatever,
sanctuary
or whatever.
Well, no, I think it was the U.S. attorney that brought the charges from the judge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it works for the Trump.
Trump appointed them. Then the first thing they did, look through the files. Okay, we're going after her.
Who could we use to get further, get more coverage, right?
Yeah.
What could we exploit? And that's all Trump is looking. Trump ain't doing shit good. I'm saying, boy, all he's looking for is just ways to fuck with people and divide us. That's his biggest. That's his.
Well, his thing is to find chinks in the armor and exploit it. We all know that. You know what I mean? And this is another way for him to say, well, look, I'm trying to help the country get into a better place by setting these laws. And look, the people that we have in charge, they're circumventing the law. So not only are the people that are, immigrating illegally, breaking the law, but we have people that are supposed to be upholding the law, breaking the law too. This is why we need blah, 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 blah. We all know that's Twitter fingers' method of attack.
Chinks in the armor. Huh? Pretty racist of you.
I hate that is exact. I mean, it does have two definitions. The chink that you're talking about is not in the Webster's Merriam, sir.
So the Massachusetts Attorney General has called it politicized, right? Radically and politically motivated attack on our state and the independence of our courts. Because, come on, man. If someone comes to court on a state charge,
you're supposed to leave on a state charge.
I shouldn't be able to ambush them at court.
Yeah.
Should be able to get them coming out of court. You should at least let them have their due process and catch them when they're at the jail. Right?
So
no, none of that.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be able to do any of that shit.
No. Yeah, that's highly illegal.
Think about it like this: if they can join hands and shield some people going into their own house because ICE can't serve, because ICE that's not criminal warrant.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if ICE can do that, then how? I mean, if some regular citizens can do that and they're not obstructing justice, how is this judge obstructing justice by letting him escape out the back door?
Now, see, that's the gray area where it's like, was he convicted of the law he was there for to begin with?
No, she was the one. She let him off.
She's the judge.
She's the judge.
So he didn't get convicted of the crime he was in court for.
Nope, he wasn't convicted of any crime.
What are we talking about here? We're talking about a political move here, brothers.
She let him out the back door.
Okay, he was in the court for drug possession, narcotics possession, a fugitive for being a fugitive.
Yeah.
Well, see, now that's
So
a different. That's a little bit of
he
a.
didn't show up to court. He had like a failure to appear, dog. That's all I mean.
Yeah.
And for drug possession, I mean.
Okay, he's a dope head, and he didn't show up to court.
Yeah, but then he showed up.
But then he did show up.
I mean,
so he was trying to do the right thing.
I've had a warrant for my arrest for probably 6 years at one point in time and didn't show up to court. I had a bench warrant. Everybody's like, every black man in America has had a bench warrant.
Look, I was a fugitive for a hot minute and had a job and everything. When I was in the court, I was a fugitive. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, good member of society.
Every black man in them. That's how they get it. That's a part of the plan.
All right. So, his charges were not serious.
No.
Drug possession.
Read that part right there. It says, so is my understanding. I mean, yeah.
According to the indictment, the immigrant appeared in Joseph's courtroom on charges of being a fugitive from Pennsylvania in narcotics possession. So it's my understanding that ICE is here, Joseph said during the hearing, according to the indictment. ICE is going to pick him up if he walks out the front door, the man's attorney said, proposing that the judge drop the fugitive charge and detain him on the drug charge. Because if he went to jail,
they couldn't get him.
ICE would have left.
Yeah.
Right? ICE is going to get him? Joseph asked the attorney. Yeah, the defense lawyer replied. Joseph then asked the clerk to shut off the court recorder, violating state rules requiring all court proceedings be recorded according to the indictment. Now, it doesn't say she broke a law. It says that she violated state rules.
Yeah.
I think that the rule that she violated wasn't breaking a law.
It wasn't breaking a law.
It was so much more of this guy to be processed.
Okay. Because they didn't charge her. Because she didn't get charged on that. Yeah, they didn't get charged on that.
They didn't prosecute her on that.
Okay. Finish.
So I don't think she broke the law. I think it was more about the defendant.
Yeah.
His due process. You got to keep that recorder going.
Yeah.
Right. When the recording resumed, the defense attorney asked him to speak to his client downstairs in the courthouse floor. So when they shut off the thing, they made the plan. They hashed the plan.
I would ask that
I believe has some property downstairs, the attorney said. I'd like to speak with him downstairs with the interpreter, if I may. Because if he's speaking with the interpreter, ICE could not, if he's still at court.
Yeah. They just gave him a reason to go downstairs.
Right,
so
to go downstairs. Joseph agreed to the request and said she would release the man after he was taken to the lockup. After the hearing, McGregor led the immigrant, the defense attorney, and the interpreter downstairs and opened the courthouse back door, allowing the man to escape, the indictment said. Joseph and McGregor both pleaded not guilty to the charges Thursday in Boston, according to news reports. Rightfully so. Joseph's lawyer said the charges were absolutely political.
Well, you gave a black eye to the president.
I'm gonna say something right now, though, that I can't help but to mention. Where the fuck is all this compassion for black people when we be in court? Because
say it again.
This was awesome. I think this was dope. And I don't know anything about Joseph or McGregor outside of this story. I don't know what their track records are as it pertains to black people. But this is one of those things where, like, you know how people we do this a lot. Like, oh, you guys want to help immigrants before you help black people. And I'm like, shut the hell up. They can help both at the same time. You know, whatever. When they talk about the government, I hate that they act like the government can only direct its attention on one thing at a time. I'm like, no, they have branches for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Really, they do.
They have enough people. The American government is the biggest employer in America. Mm-hmm. There's enough people that work for the American government for us to fix the roads, address the schools. You know what I'm saying? Like we can do whatever we need to do simultaneously. We don't need to wait on anything. So, but in this particular case, anecdotally speaking, I hope that these people have compassion for black people. I hope she didn't. I don't want to look up her record and find out that she be putting black people in jail 3 times longer for the same crime she put white people in jail for. I'm gonna feel some type of way about that. That's janky. But that's speculatory. That's speculatory. I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just wondering out loud
But it's a good question though, because that's an altruistic moment in her life But was that the first time?
Yeah.
Was that the only time?
I'm not saying she had to be opening up the door, letting everybody out the back door all the time.
We're not under that. That's different. Can we get like a fair, sentence, or can we get
them do-overs too?
What I want to see is from some of the judges is actually slapping down some of these fake ass plea deals these DAs we give out.
Yeah. So that's my thing. Did you want to address anything specifically about that? So Trump politicizing it is pretty significant.
Yeah, but it's par for the course. He's been ramping up in 2019. He's been ramping up the terror. Mm-hmm. He's been trying to terrorize people. It's all about fear. And when you say things that aren't true, like we can't let them out on amnesty, or we can't let them stay with family members in the United States while waiting amnesty because they don't show up to court, or they're just running around. But the statistics show that they actually do show up to court.
Yep.
What do? You do things to make them afraid to come to court.
Like this.
Because then when the numbers start to bear out in your favor, you
see,
bullshit. We're not gonna do. You know what I mean? And when you allow them to be even in not just federal courts, not just immigration courts, when you allow them into the courts of individual states and municipalities, you're going to cause problems for these places, these states and these municipalities in terms of criminal justice.
That's an excellent point.
You can't be someone that says, "Oh, I'm signing a First Step Act." Which, by the way, stop giving Donald Trump credit for the First Step Act. He signed it, okay, but it was something that was it wasn't something that was like Donald Trump. But
it wasn't a Donald Trump brainchild. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
If he would have vetoed it, it just would have bend worse off for him if he would have vetoed it.
It just came back later on again. It would have just been. But I get what you're saying.
But you cannot do this to people. You understand what I'm saying? You've got to, not just people, but you've got to allow the government to be able to handle it. Because the thing about immigration is, and about undocumented people is, like it or not, they're here.
Yeah.
So now we have to deal with them.
And a lot of them are law-abiding citizens.
See, Donald Trump speaks on the problem like it's his problem, or like it's somebody's personal problem, but it's not. If it is a problem at all, it's a problem for a municipality, or it's a problem for a state. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you tie these states' hands and you take away things that these states are doing to handle it, and then say, see, it's a problem, but you're actually creating the problem.
Yeah.
That's being a hypocrite.
It's also creating a catch-22 that probably works out in your favor.
Yeah. Okay. So also with this story, we probably should have talked about this too, because we were talking about this earlier. The 600 people that got arrested at the plant.
680?
680 people got arrested.
300 released back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason why Robert brought up a very good point, and he pointed something out. He was saying, you were saying that it was probably personal that happened, because at that very same plant, a lot of those people had come together and unionized against the. It's a Coke factory, right? Owned by the Koch brothers, I believe, right? Like,
I think it's Coke.
Yeah, it was Coke. I'm pretty sure, but whatever, whoever it was, some rich assholes own it, right? And these people were being treated unfairly, and they were being sexually harassed, and you're right, and stuff like that. And then they basically came together and was like, nah, fuck that, right? They got lawyers, and they got lawyers involved, and then they ended up winning the lawsuit, right? And
$3.7 million.
$3.7 million. And then after they won the lawsuit, they continued working. And then what happened? They ended up 680 of them ended up getting deported.
Right.
Well, 680 got arrested. I'm just doing my.
I'm sorry. They got arrested.
680 got arrested. 200 did have criminal records, but the overwhelming majority did not. And
I hate criminal record. Because criminal record means nothing to me.
It means I jaywalk.
Criminal record means absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And I need and reading into this article, I'm glad I read it. So it's not even that ICE is arresting anybody under a civil law; it's administrative law.
Yeah.
How fucking beautiful that kind of beautiful cockamamie terminology is that?
But that's why
that's crazy.
That's why
You can join arms and you keep them away from somebody, and it's not obstruction of justice.
The judge is totally foolish. It's an administrative form.
Yeah. So who the fuck knows how this is even going to go? But the reason why that I found that to be, just interesting was because which in all of these cases,
it's called Pico Foods, by the way. Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. So the thing that's interesting in all these cases is they never go after the wealthy people.
I was going to say that
never go
next
after
myself.
the rich people. Okay, so there's poor people over here, and Americans, a lot of y'all Americans, diehard, blowhard Americans are like, well, they're a strain on our society. They're not.
They're taking jobs that we could have, like my family could get and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not minimum wage jobs though. They're paying them worse than minimum. They're paying them less than what they would be if Americans worked in that factory. They would have to pay Americans $25 an hour. I guarantee to do whatever. I get job.
But no, I heard actually when they were talking about in an article, we're talking about what the people that are working there now.
Yeah.
That came. There was like they hired like 30 people in there.
Yes. Yeah.
And they paid them $12 an hour to chop up
chickens and shit. Yeah.
Like,
and I bet you a lot of people. I bet you 2 of them people still work there. For $12 an hour to kill chickens is a tough job. That's a grueling job, man.
Yeah.
And hang them and like do all.
It's not as easy as it sounds. That's for sure.
And if they're paying them $12 an hour now, that's cool. But they won't be able to pay them $12 an hour in 2 years from now because them motherfuckers will be like, no, we need 20.
Here's the thing about this whole situation, and Robert knows, like, we used to sell labor law. And the one thing about labor law that's really black and white is it isn't the employee that really needs to worry about it, it's the employer. Because you're the one breaking the fucking law.
Yeah.
And you're 100% spot on when you're asking, why aren't these corporations getting punished for this? Because you're breaking, it's like this. You're gonna feign ignorance. Ignorance has never worked for a black person when it came. I didn't know that was in the car.
Yeah.
I don't know how many niggas have said that. Maybe 70%, 80% knew, 20% didn't. So since we all in the car and there's dope in the car, we all go to jail even though my nigga just picked me. You just saw him pull up to my house, pick me up. So you telling me that ignorance doesn't work for me, but these rich, the wealthy can literally say, I don't go there every day.
Well, if you put,
I'm not the one that signs the paychecks. I'm not put that on the payroll. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's look at the lawsuit. Okay, so the lawsuit was an EEOC lawsuit.
Right.
For discriminatory practice, sexual harassment, and other things related to that. Okay?
Understood.
Now, so 680 people. That's not an accident. I get 2 or 3. You search me. I got 2 or 3 undocumented workers here and there, or got fake documents or something.
Yeah.
You caught. Okay, they got it.
Yeah.
That's fame. That's true ignorance.
Yeah.
Like, that happened because they employ thousands of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but they have 4 different plants. They employ thousands of people.
Yeah.
Okay. Now 680. That's not an accident, especially on the same plant. Now, so you see where they sued them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were treating them a certain way that was, you know what I mean? That their company was treating them a certain way that brought the lawsuit in the first place. They knew they were dealing with undocumented immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were treating them that way. When those people decided to sue them, see, it all stems from dehumanization.
Yes.
And so they dehumanized these people, and they're like, wait a minute. So they sued them, they had to pay. How dare you motherfuckers do that?
Oh, yeah.
So who do you think I see the mayor of the city, the mayor of the town in Mississippi, he got up and said, look, this is not, the people didn't do this.
The people of the city.
The people of the city do it. Because despite all of the vitriol and all the separation, all that shit, that's what the media is feeding you. But really, we're talking about America. There's a lot more Americans with some real fucking decency than these.
Right. We talk about real communities, places where people come together and they all try to get something.
No. I don't want to sell this short. These motherfuckers is who they are. Who send their back, and it's a lot of that. It's a lot of,
but I think there's far more people that don't. Even if they feel that way,
they won't let the government.
They're not
going to go there. Like, think about Tennessee.
But won't snitch.
Tennessee, motherfuckers probably were all making human chains. I'm talking about Tennessee. I'm talking about when they were making chains in Tennessee around that car with the motherfuckers in it. I'm pretty sure at least 2 or 3 people in the chain was like, Well, fuck it, they should go back because they're here illegally. But they'd rather them not get them. Yeah, you're not going to be the ones to motherfucking do this shit to them and fuck them up while we're here.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I get what you're saying.
But then, so when you look at the two incidents together, this was retaliatory. The reason they're not arresting the rich people is because the rich people called fucking ICE. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. This is the reason that they hired those people. Because they didn't think that those people would be able to organize. They could treat these people any way they wanted. They could underpay these people, and that they would have no choice. But when these people said, you know what, I don't give a fuck if I'm documented or not. You're not going to treat me this way. I'm going to let somebody know what's going on. And kudos to the EEOC for standing up. You know what I mean? Not saying, understanding.
You guys are undocumented. What the fuck
you don't have a right.
No.
You don't have a right to.
They got human rights.
No, they have human rights. Exactly. So
hold on, listen to this though, and this is for the Washington Post because Ty made me look this up. I like that, and I'm about to read to you what I read. The state's poultry industry has a complex history with labor, race, and immigration. Academic research shows the civil rights and workers' rights movement of the 1960s and 1970s led to not only integration but also an exodus of white workers. By the 1990s, businesses began aggressively recruiting Latin American immigrants to fill their labor needs, luring them to rural Mississippi from places such as El Paso and Mexico. Y'all niggas' hands is dirty as fucking this.
Right.
Dirty as that. That's not yesterday. That goes back to what you're saying, Robert. This wasn't accidental. And this is perpetuated.
The government knows about it too. That's why you don't hear about one every fucking week.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of places.
And literally what you said is they were too scared to stand up for their rights. Right? And that was why they went to the EEOC.
Well, that's
yes, it was specifically the illegal immigrants that they were going after.
So there was the
But yeah, but I would to answer Tyrone's question. I mean, we haven't gotten to the bottom of it yet, but I would venture to say that every worker by and large, every worker in America is mistreated. I'm mistreated at my job. You know what I'm saying? Like to a certain extent. Like I'm not. Like, yeah, I'm mistreated at my job. I'm talking about as far, not like I'm not sexually abused or anything like that or whatever, but I'm used. You know what I'm saying? They try to make you work. For sure, right? So I guarantee you that immigrants get treated worse than American workers because of immigrants, the likelihood of immigrants saying something about it. And you can just go down the line. Every marginalized group, the lowest is immigrants. The next up is black people, or poor people, poor black people. Then the next up is poor white people. Then the next up is poor, whatever. You go down the line, right? Like those people. If we're on a totem pole, people think totem pole is the lowest is the best, whatever. But so if we're doing a totem pole, the people on the bottom are going to be immigrants. Just period, point blank. It's going to be poor immigrants from South America, not from Europe, but poor Latin American immigrants get treated the worst in labor, I feel like, if they don't come together. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. And then next is black people and so on and so forth. But I would venture to say that, to answer your question, yes, they were being mistreated worse.
Oh, no, I'm telling you, I'm reading the story. Look, at some point, and I'm going to read you the mistreatment that they went through. Just take it one step further because I love to have the facts to it. So Caitlin Berberich, who was the attorney for the Southern Migrant Legal Services in Nashville, she said that her and the EEOC found that supervisors touched and/or made sexually suggestive comments to female Hispanic employees, hit Hispanic employees, and charged many of them money for normal everyday work activities.
That's not happening to American citizens. I guarantee
not
you that.
For a
I guarantee you that's not happening to American citizens, for sure, without a doubt. So,
further, a class of Hispanic employees were subject to retaliation in the form of discharge and other adverse actions after complaining. That's not even just an EEOC violation. That's a National Labor Relations Board violation.
Yeah.
Like
you should be able to voice a grievance,
and that's law.
And that's law, and not have to worry about repercussions, right?
And I wanted to go one step further to even say that even the attorney felt that, and I quote, "The timing is suspicious, given some of the statements that the U.S. attorney has made of when these investigations started because they settled these lawsuits in July of 2018 for $3.75 million.
And all of a sudden,
so
kind of like what we were saying before, when people they're using these movements at, like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're sicking them on people.
Right.
Like the wealthy, the wealthy are weaponizing all of these movements. And ICE and the anti-immigration movement is a negative thing inherently, right? Like there really isn't any good things that can come out of just deporting a group of fucking people that's been over here for 20, 30, you know, whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's why I'm dismayed when I hear black people act like, immigrants are a problem. When first of all, immigrants have not done anything to you.
Illegal immigrants.
Second of all,
I hear you.
undocumented workers. Second of all, they don't remember when affirmative action started, apparently. Because when affirmative action started, it was they're taking all the jobs. We're referring to black people, white people referring to black people taking all the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And then when these people left this job, also, the ADOS movement, will encourage, we'll be happy that these types of things happen because they're all of a sudden it's like they're getting jobs, like black people should go get these jobs. But the ADOS movement seems like it's just looking to plug black people into their place in capitalism. Like, do you understand that you're just asking us to fight for our spot on the bottom?
Yeah.
And
we should be getting those minimum wage jobs.
Not them.
right, not them. And then basically when instead of getting behind a workers movement, a movement that helps all working class people,
shout out to
or getting behind something that helps these undocumented workers get a pathway to citizenship,
a defined and
or move,
simplistic path.
And Ben, I forgot the guy's name, but I was listening to his podcast today, and he said something really profound. He said that the ADOS movement isn't moving the needle on reparations, but they are moving the needle on immigration.
Said it was Ben something, didn't it?
Yeah. That is
Benjamin Dixon.
There you go.
Benjamin Dixon. And the thing about the thing about the ADOS movement is that if you guys like I've been telling you to watch the documentary, the Great Hack.
That is a great documentary.
The Great Hack is all about to me, the biggest part of the Great Hack is all about how they are dividing us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Great Hack is all about division. It's all about Trump got in office and he's dividing us even more. We were already divided. Don't get, you know what I'm saying? Like let's not get it twisted. We were already divided. The thing about the Great Hack, though, that it pointed out was how the powers that be are using all of these groups to divide us even more, who don't seem like they're a part of the, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just doing it on their own. But ADOS is a part of that, because ADOS is trying to divide even black people amongst other black people.
Right. So
you can't be like, if you're African, if you're from Africa, ADOS says no. You're not black. You're not the descendants of slaves. And I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure they took slaves from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm pretty sure they took slaves from Benin, right? So if you're Nigerian, and Benin is right there, a lot of your family members could have been taken. But bottom line is that the African dysphoria around the world, we're all fucking black. And we all, even in Africa, we're all oppressed, and in Europe we're oppressed, and in Latin America we're oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's no fucking need to try to divide us in America. That's fucking crazy, and that's what the ADOS movement is doing right now.
Absolutely, but you're right there at the tip. So I'm just gonna say, the problem isn't slavery. The problem isn't Jim Crow. The problem isn't what happened to us on those fronts. The problem is white supremacy. So you can't hold up certain other pillars of white supremacy. It's like you're holding up white supremacy over here so you can try to grab what you want, which is reparations. You're not going to get reparations that way. You have to bring down the system of white supremacy. And white supremacy is not a national thing; it's an international thing.
Mm-hmm.
And until you
it's a global thing.
And I'm going to say it every time to anybody that's listening to ADOS, until you recognize the international, connection of white supremacy, and you start to understand the dehumanization of immigrants or the dehumanization of any other group of people in another country that are black, and dehumanization of other group of, we'll say, the southern part of the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you will understand and stand for those dehumanization, if you stand against those labor, like people fighting for labor movement, if you stand against people that are fighting for universal health care in America, if you're fighting against people that are trying to free Lula in Brazil, if you're fighting against,
or not even fighting against them, if you're just saying fuck them.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fuck them. It's about us. We got to care about us. Like, even that is.
I'm not saying you have to fight for those people,
yeah,
but you have to be cognizant and aware of that struggle and how
it connects to
the ADOS movement and your movement fits into the international and to the world scene.
Yes.
Because the reason that we don't have reparations in America right now isn't because these people don't think they owe us.
Yeah.
The reason being is because these people want to protect white supremacy. And as long as you're working along with them, they don't have a reason to give you reparations.
They'll never
only until they see the pillars of white supremacy being taken down, starting with capitalism, which is the backbone of white supremacy. Until you see these things being taken down before them and threatened at the very core, then they will start giving you their money to keep you at bay.
Yeah.
But you're not a threat as long as you're upholding pillars of white supremacy like capitalism and like anti-worker movement. You're not supporting anything. And as long as you're anti-immigration.
Yeah.
As long as you're anti-immigration, they don't have a reason to give you reparations because you are still supporting their white supremacy.
And also another one is the industrial military complex, which
they base it on their website.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. ADOS is
like a piece of the pie.
Yeah, like for some reason, ADOS is like pro-war in like brown and black countries, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not understand. I'm not. That doesn't.
We just want the be all you can be commercials on our black.
Okay, so let's think about this real quick. Let's think about like leaders of old, right? Black leaders of old. If a black leader, what black leaders of old would be a part of ADOS right now? Then the number one person that I can think of is Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey would have been the king of ADOS right now, right? How do you think Marcus Garvey would feel if black people in America, black descendants of slaves in America, were shitting on Nigerians in America? You think Marcus Garvey would be cool? Shitting on Jamaicans, shitting on Haitians.
Nah, I think that is
Cubans, black Brazil.
Right.
You think Marcus Garvey would be cool with that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing that trips me out. I'm like, as much as people like to act like they know history, right?
Right.
Like, because I be feeling like the way people be talking to me and be coming at me, I be feeling like maybe I missed something. I'm like, shit, maybe I don't know my history like I think I do. You know what I'm saying? But so we start talking about somebody like Marcus Garvey, and I'm like, okay, Marcus Garvey seems like he invented the ADOS movement to a certain extent. But he wasn't talking about reparations. Though. Marcus Garvey was like, oh, give me a fucking boat. like we don't want to be on this fucking land. Now, whether you believe in Marcus Garvey's movement or not is beside the point. I'm just saying that he seems like the strongest candidate to be the leader of the ADOS now. And Marcus Garvey would be. He definitely wouldn't have been down for nobody talking about some, oh, we can't ride with Haitians. We can't. You see how those Nigerians come over here? Like, people in ADOS talk about Nigerians like we talk about Middle Easterns, or we talk about white people gentrifying our neighbor. I'm like, they're not like you. This is coming from a person who I feel like they shit on us. I believe that. We talk about immigrants, Latin American immigrants, non-black Latin American immigrants specifically. I grew up having problems with them my whole fucking life. First generation, second generation Mexicans, straight up and down, fighting, getting shot at. This Cali, like we not here saying that like I'm not caping for that. I'm just saying that for myself, for the struggle, I see the connection. Like you're saying, like I see the connection. Like we gotta, if we not helping them, we gotta help them to help us to help. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all interconnected, and that's why understanding history, geopolitics, homeland. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta understand all of these things. Right. But I feel like most people don't give a fuck about those things, and they only focus on what's going on here, and they start to, basically, this is what I'm saying. If you are ADOS and your mantra starts to sound very similar to the people of the MAGA movement, you should know right there, like, okay, maybe we should readdress.
Yeah, we gotta pull back a bit and see what.
I'm just saying.
I think that they're still convinced that, because look, you guys they're basically by moving people away. Because I'm not a Democrat by any means, and there's a large critique about the Democratic Party, but making black people feel like, oh, they must be part of they must be brainwashed if they vote for the Democratic Party. Dude, you're basically cutting off, politically, where are you going politically? What is your real political agenda? It can't be give us everything on this goddamn list or nothing. Because what you do is you're cutting off any type of allies that you could possibly have. Yeah. You're cutting off black Democrats can't fucking be down with you, right?
Yep.
Black progressives can't be down with you. Yep. Black socialists can't be down with you. Mm-hmm. None of the people that come along with that, like alliance, white allies, can't come be down with you.
Right wing black people can't be down with you.
No, they can't. You can't convince them. And if you think that a right wing or fascist government is going to give you anything, you're fucking smoking crack. I'm honest. So where do you go? Where do you go? You're not getting shit from the fascists. They're not going to give you shit.
Nope.
I don't give a fuck. Oh, I hear them say all the time. Maybe we can fucking talk to Trump.
We can get Trump.
No, Trump.
I think is so Trump, lost in the sauce. That would be not even
political suicide. I think somebody would try to kill Trump if he gave y'all reparations.
Trump ain't giving black people reparations.
It would be every AR.
It ain't even Trump. And it ain't even Trump. We got to go through Mitch McConnell to get it.
Right.
And Mitch McConnell
don't want. Mitch McConnell think everything Negro related is not happening.
Mitch McConnell said Obama was our
Oh yeah, you want to? Yeah, let's show you. Obama was your reparations.
And that's real talk.
Real Republican talk.
He just said that about everything, y'all. If y'all think everybody talks shit about why can't nothing get done in Washington, because there's a little white man named Mitch McConnell that's like, just straight grumpy face.
Yeah, his day might be a number. I saw him do a talk in Kentucky, and 80% of the crowd was booing that.
I believe it.
That don't matter.
Well, he's still
gonna vote for him.
Yeah, he's been taking some hits a lot.
The rich, powerful, Kentucky. You know what I mean?
He's been taking some hits too. With the women base too, because of that picture. I don't know if you guys saw those pictures a couple weeks back with they had a ALC cut out. The boys went to town with the Mitch shirts on. Yeah, they did the most. But the whole point is, Mitch is he's old. He's an archaic tool. If his seat's up, all they need to do is find either a radical.
I don't think Mitch even cares. I think he feels like he got his job.
I think he has. I mean, you can't stop progression forever, and it is what it is.
He's gonna go down in conservative.
But that's the worst. No, he gonna be right behind Reagan.
One of the worst.
Be right behind Reagan.
Yeah. That's a dude that I'm worried about going to run for president at some point.
But the number one is gonna be Trump when it's all said and done.
Yeah. But you heard me? Mitch McConnell is the guy that I'm worried about running for president if we win this time.
Never worried about Mitch
he doesn't even have a snowball chance.
He don't have no fucking fire.
They said that about Donald Trump.
Nah, they were stupid about Donald Trump. Yeah. But Donald Trump's personality compared to Mitch McConnell's personality.
Hell yeah, Ty said Mitch McConnell is a racist. We know that. That's why I'm saying every time. Every time we sit down, I'm trying to tell you, every time they've ever sat down at the table and started something up.
Tyrone actually decided that someone was a racist.
It take a lot. It take a lot. It take a lot.
What that means, if he's saying it, then it must for sure the fuck be true. Because, you know, telling you, Mitch McConnell see Black Pepper and get mad and be like, I know they have a white version of this.
Mitch McConnell letter, like, you're so racist. Tyrone Irvin said you was racist.
Nah, Tyrone said not everyone had American roots in slavery. No. That's not what I'm saying. But we're all Black. And you can't name a country in the world where Black people aren't oppressed.
And you can't name a time,
even in Black countries.
You can't name a time in recent American history where someone said, I'm discriminated against ADOS people. And you know what I mean?
I'll even take it one step further. Every Black person that's here had a Black ancestor that was in Africa that didn't know us, never got to know any part of our family. So it does, if they may not have been affected by it in America, but they was affected by it in Africa.
That's what I'm saying. Like they
took an L on their side, just like we taking an L on our side.
And that shit crippled Africa. And Africa ain't. That's what I'm saying, man. You can't. I'm not.
Can't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah, I'm not saying that every Black person in America is a descendant of a slave. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that every Black person in the world is fucking connected.
And is a victim of white supremacy, which is the overarching problem. The reason you don't have reparations, white supremacy. Yep. Why don't you have reparations? White supremacy. Because they gave it to other.
Why don't we have a booming Black? Why do we not have a booming Black industry for business, just like the Asians do or the Mexicans do? I mean, everybody has something in this country, whether they're an immigrant or not, that they're known for.
Why does Africa have all the fucking natural resources, but
none of the wealth? None of
the shit don't
get me started. I watched a documentary about how they're actually digging for it now. They're actually, they're going out and starting to dig for their own resources. And if I want to say it was
like the Nigeria,
Kenya or Nigeria, no, it's not oil. It was gold. They're actually digging and mining for gold. But what they're digging for is killing them because they don't have the means to do it cleanly. Like the Dutch came in, they did it. They showed them the rudimentary basics of it, but they didn't show them how to get rid of the waste. They didn't show them how to get rid of the pollutants that come from the machines that they're using. So while these people are trying to make money, they're killing themselves and their families. It's all fucked up. And I mean, even when we get what we deserve, white people gonna make sure we get what we deserve. You feel me? Yeah. And I'm not saying, and anybody out there to say I'm racist, I don't like white people. I don't like rich white people.
Tyrone said, forget the baby with the bathwater, give me my money.
Hey, Mitch McConnell, you can't see my face, but Mitch McConnell is hearing you right now, and it's the grumpy old white.
We all want our money because we deserve it.
You guys have all the opportunity in the world.
I'm pro reparations, but
we let you read.
Give me the chance to,
you have the ability to overpay. You can apply for a credit card.
You know what I mean? If you're dead set against giving me the money, guess what? Then just fucking take them. If all I ever do is before I die, I get to see the pillars of this shit fall down.
You know what? I'll be honest.
Give me a goddamn dollar.
I will be honest. If I want white America or capitalist America to just tell me to my face you're not going to get it. And say we're not apologetic about slavery at the same time.
Said that. Yeah, you're good. Mitch McConnell said that.
I'm not laughing. I'm just like, then I don't see why we still crying. Like they showed their hand. They showed us.
Look, that's a political fight. They have a right to fight. If you don't like something about our government,
of course
you can fight for it. They're continuing to fight, even though Mitch McConnell said they're not going to get it because one day Mitch McConnell going to be dead. Now,
Mitch McConnell might not be dead. Mitch McConnell ain't always going to be dead.
One day he will be dead. Like people die. He's going to be dead one day. So you keep fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know from there were abolitionists as soon as when this country was founded, there were people saying that there shouldn't be slavery going into America. Yeah. But the slave owners were in power, so there was slavery, and there were people fighting against slavery the whole way. And it took them 70, 80 years, right?
Well, I mean, this thinking, like, I agree with what you're saying, Robert, because, like, no, it took about
1865,
1776. Since America was,
I know slavery
was here before that. Yeah.
Yeah, but
because the Dutch was over here and the Dutch was doing their damn thing.
I don't think in the 1600s there were a lot of abolition.
I don't think in the 1600s there was.
I think it was from the gate. Because it was slaves in Europe, so they were already like turned off. Like, why did you want to start that shit over here?
Yeah, He does have a really good point.
So then when they came over here, there was already people like, I don't want that shit. I bet you it was rich people that was like, I don't want to be a part of that.
Most of the Northerners, but that was because they were already thinking about a better way of life. They were thinking about how to,
No. The Northerners had slaves.
Because
New York had slaves.
Everybody was agrarian back then.
Yeah.
Now, when the Industrial Revolution started, that's when the North-South kind of divide started
Yeah, they had slaves like a motherfucker. Whatchamacallit was built on a fucking slave burial ground.
Great Britain outlawed slavery in 1803. So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But they still haven't paid their reparations for what they did to the Jamaicans either.
Well,
So.
they're not
Jamaicans.
Black people.
Africans.
Well, I'm just saying their sphere of influence was Jamaica, but like that's what the UN was holding them liable for.
The sun never sets on the British. That's how it's going.
I think we are part of the British. I think America is like the part, like low key. I don't think America is its own like
entity.
No, I think it's owned by the British Empire. I still think it's ran by the British Empire.
I mean, I can see it
for sure, and I think that shit is all ran by the Roman Empire.
Well, look, if you like Catholicism,
me,
you already know who you answer to, so you ain't never lied. Well, the Protestants put it like this: the Protestant Church does not have its own city. There's nowhere on the map.
But the Protestants run this shit.
I don't know. I still
think talking about the British Empire. They broke away from the Catholic Church way before all of that shit popped up. Yeah, but Protestants run this shit and that shit. But that's why. Because if it was the Catholic Church,
I'm getting into my Netflix. Netflix is putting some shit on these.
How you know it's not the Catholic Church? If it was the Catholic Church, they wouldn't have a problem with you talking shit about Israel.
True, but they don't give a fuck about.
It's the Protestants because you say something about Israel. You know, I'm sorry, Israel. Like, I gotta apologize right now. See, I'm sorry, Israel.
Well, I got what you said, but I mean, Catholic Church still holds the money.
Wait, did you know anything about that? You want to talk about that?
What?
Where they denied Omar and Rashid Tlaib?
Nah, not this week. I think we did. I think it's getting.
We got 15 minutes. I do want to jump into that the Philadelphia shooting. Only for what? Because I didn't really get into it. Like, I've even asked him on the way over here, so I read like 2 stories. First thing I'm going to say is I love the fact this dude is on Twitter like he should have been in jail forever. What is it? Like, he didn't even shoot and kill nobody. And like, Trump is already all over his head.
He was saying he should have been in jail before.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But like,
he's already had violent.
But what? Okay. So where was Trump's outrage when the dude in Riverside just killed a black CHP officer?
On my mama, that's why I got involved
and wounded a couple more. I didn't hear Trump say he should have been in jail forever, and he was a convicted felon as well.
So
why? And his dad said he was crazy. His daddy said basically his daddy said he was taking time bomb. That's what I got from it when I read the article. His daddy was like, I mean, it was bound to happen. You know, which led me also to be like, why the fuck did you give your son a gun? Whatever.
Okay, so in case you guys didn't know what happened in Philadelphia last night, a gunman opened fire on 6 police officers, Philadelphia police officers, and it was in an hours-long standoff. It ended Thursday morning.
Keep in mind, they were serving a narcotics warrant.
Yeah, the dude was a drug dealer. His name was Maurice Hill.
Yeah.
And Maurice Hill shot 6 officers. They did not die. And then another officer was injured in a vehicle incident. They probably busted a car, crashed it.
Bro.
Vehicle incident.
Probably trying to
flee the scene and somebody hit him.
Might have been trying to sneak up the back door to shoot him in the head, slipped off the trunk of the car. You never know.
Now, this guy, Maurice Hill, he is the guy that he has an extensive record of he has
violence and drug trafficking. Yeah, he's been in prison.
So he's one of the people that it's like, okay, if your gun laws and things like that are in place now and the way things are right now, you can't pick up on one of these guys, then they're too weak to pick up on a guy that's crazy that maybe doesn't have a criminal record.
Well, here's the thing.
It's not crazy. I won't say crazy.
Yeah.
That is
motivated. I was going to say motivated.
That has been radicalized by right-wing rhetoric.
Mm-hmm. So
you're not going to pick up on that guy if you can't pick up on this guy.
With the shooter in California, he went to Las Vegas to get his gun. And the guy said, well, I couldn't tell there was anything wrong with him. He was happy-go-lucky guy, had no criminal record, right? I can give you the benefit of the doubt for that.
Who are you talking about? What guy in California?
The one that shot up the Gilroy shooting.
Garland. Festival.
Garden Festival, yeah. Because the guy was like, because they went and questioned him. Hey, look, he rolled up here. He said he had a license, like his family lived in Nevada. So he had legitimate reason to go and get a gun from a Nevada dealer. You know what I mean? He had a residence there. Yeah. My point is, like you said, Rob, you can't pick up on that. I can't tell if you really are motivated. I'm not going to take the time to go through your Facebook and your Twitter to see if you have any crazy manifestos in there. But Maurice Hill, bro, you got a jacket. So whoever sold him the gun, this is where we go back to the conversation. Whoever sold him the gun or who gave him access to it.
Wait. Why are we assuming that this gun wasn't illegal? I'm assuming it was illegal.
Oh, I'm assuming it was illegal.
Yeah, so nobody sold him the gun.
I'm just saying, like, it
was a trap. It was a 3-story town. That's what it was. They went in there, they had 3 people are selling them knowingly to people who have felonies. No, none of them are doing that because they would lose their license and they probably could go to jail. I would assume. So yeah, they're not doing that shit. That's like saying
that turns you into an illegal arms dealer.
Yeah, that's like
federal.
That's like talking about a fucking bartender serving drinks to underage people. Like they're not gonna do that shit willingly. Like they don't, you know what I mean? Like because most bartenders are like, I want to get fined $10,000. It's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like so they're not gonna do that. The vast majority of, but I'm saying like no bartender.
Well, let's do it like this too, though. Let's make this clear. This is not like a shooting, like. You know what I mean?
No, this wasn't a mass shooting.
This is a
police standoff.
This is a person.
This was I don't want to go to jail,
right?
Because I know it's going to be a long time.
Police. He was shooting police officers.
Well,
and he was trying to escape.
Oh, wait.
Crime.
Technically, it wasn't mass shooting. And he did it.
I don't know. Because no one died.
No, that's not what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. This is not like the shit that you see. This is not a. Hold on, but you cannot. They cannot because the media may try to do this. You cannot interject this because this guy was black. Like
they all do it. Anyone can do it.
No, this is not the same as a radicalized.
Not even close.
National, white national.
No, I agree. I agree on that. Last week when we were talking about how the feds how the FBI even had to say that black extremists weren't a threat like they were. Yeah, but then it came out like literally the next day. I thought it was so funny. It came out the next day that is a report that internal documents say that black identity extremists are the #1 threat in America.
Well, that's always been the case.
No, but they came out and said that they weren't.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And then. Now another thing. So I was like,
smoke and mirrors. The timing is crazy. The timing is crazy.
Also, this ought to be because the guy used handguns. Okay, he did have big guns. We didn't bust them out. He's using handguns. But this ought to let you know that even in a situation like this, where there's someone that is shooting and looking to hurt people, the lethality is different. So because a lot of times people talk about you can kill somebody with a handgun.
Not the same kind of round.
With a rifle, and it's the same thing as using an AR.
No, it's not.
The lethality.
Understand
is totally different.
If you haven't shot a weapon before, understand this very, very basic premise to an assault rifle against a handgun. Me and these two gentlemen can be standing at least 100 feet away from each other. Both of them can be armed with a handgun, and I can be armed with an AR. 15 with 223s in it. I will kill both of them before they probably hit me. For a simple reason is my bullets travel faster, and that weapon is made with the intent to kill. Handguns are not necessarily made like that. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and separate that from that right away.
And if you're a police officer and you have on a flak jacket and you get hit with the handgun, I'm saying, like, you know what I'm saying? So basically with the AR, if you're shooting more, if you could shoot faster, you have more bullets to shoot, then there's a greater chance of me hitting another part of your body, right? Like if I have a handgun and I'm shooting, even if with an extended clip, if I got, 40, 30 round, whatever in the extended clip, okay, cool. As opposed to a 100-round clip with the AR, I could on one person, so I might hit your head, I might hit rip a artery in your leg, you know what I mean? Like, so that it's way more intense with an AR fit with an assault rifle. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
just a whole different animal. It's literally this, like, because I get into this debate because I love guns. I love it when I go out and shoot guns, but it's just simply this. They don't call them assault handguns. They just don't call it an assault. I don't give a fuck if you have a Glock 30 with a repeater on it where you can shoot that motherfucker off with you're not gonna put the same bullets downrange with the same intensity and the same accuracy as you are with an AR-15 on a semi-automatic basis. Now, that's why, I mean, they'll have you go out, if you test one out, and they'll have you shoot it automatic because you can see the difference in how it feels. But people that are trained and know how to keep accuracy, even from playing video games, which is why it's fucked up that they're making violent video games a reason for this. But the games even teach you have to burst fire to get the right accuracy. But you can do that with a handgun and an AR-15, you're going to see an immediate difference. So, that's why I agree with you, Rob. I hope they don't try to drag this down the same path as the last couple of mass shootings we had, because one of the major differences is cops are made to go out in the line of duty and get shot at. That's what you sign up for. That's the oath you take. So if you run up and you go into a drug dealer's house, that's kind of what you expect to have happen all the time. You're trained for that.
No, they put themselves in harm's way.
Right, and they're supposed to, and that's why I'm saying, like to the police officers, please don't anybody out there that supports the blue, I'm not here to knock them. They got a job to do. When they come under fire, everybody, when we get shot at, people want to call them. But know that that's something that they are trained to go towards the gunfire. The people that are going out with AR-15s and AK-47s walking into Walmarts are looking for people that have no training for this. So I hope no one gets that misconstrued, or no one says, oh, well, of course, it's just like the other ones, because it's not. It's complete and total difference to that. That's my pit and piece on that.
All right. And that looks like I'm satisfied.
And you spent?
Yeah. Man, that was intense, man. That was good. That was
a really good show.
Yeah, man. So we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We'll y'all do the usual, like, subscribe, share. Yeah, please, come on. Let's get it out there.
Okay, yeah, and just look out for us, because we're going to be expanding in a lot of ways, and we're going to be doing a lot more marketing. Just tell your people, tell your folks. I'm thinking of a good giveaway. You know what I mean? Give you some stuff for our loyal listeners here.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Betty, always in the mix.
We might have to do like a listener appreciation show.
We really do. Strippers. All right, y'all. So until next week, right? Until next Thursday.
So that's about the way it works.
See everybody out there.
Don't forget to tune into the Best Case Scenario podcast. It's going to be on Saturday. So
nice.
Check us out.
Hopefully it'll be a little less spicy. It's been spicy lately.
No, it's cool. I like the show like last week. We watch our show back. I like it.
You have to, yeah.
Right.
It's like I listen to my own songs, I like to make music, but you gotta do it.
All right.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.